Dangerfield, Dangerfield.
Oh, I'm angry. I've been watching some Derren Brown videos, and a lot of you know I've had an interest in conjuring since I was a youngster. And the reason I like Derren Brown is, I mean, like, I know he does most of his tricks, but there's some of them that still get me. There's very few magicians I can watch that I can't either instantly or given a bit of time work out how they do them. And I've just watched one of his, and it's fucking bugging me. And I met Derren Brown at a party. A friend of mine, Ivan Masso, Derren Brown done the great art heist, and it was stealing a bit of work off my mate Ivan, and it was a party at Ivan's house. And I had the opportunity to go up him, because this trick that's done me, it's a technique that he's used in a few tricks. And I could have just gone up to him and said, oh, blah, 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 blah. And me and Derren have got a mutual friend in common as well. Mikey, you might be watching this, hello mate. And but I didn't, I was too cool for school. I didn't want to be the bloke that went up to him and went, oh, about that trick. Anyway, that's not what's made me angry. And I started today very happy. I went out this morning and I was outside a little cafe, a cafe in Phnom Penh. And this bloke was walking up and he gave me this weird sort of double look, and I was thinking, oh, hang on, a bit of trouble. And then he went, are you that YouTuber? Bang! In Phnom Penh. I was like, oh yeah, that is who I am. Now that was nice. Hello Brett, if you're watching. Nice bloke. Sat down, had a good chat with him, and got each other's email. Probably have a drink at the weekend. Interesting bloke, nice. I'll tell you what he did say that was terrifying. He's from South Africa. He's been banging around, probably Asia, Southeast Asia for about 8 years, but from South Africa. And I said to him, there's trouble out there, isn't it? What's it like? And he said, it's very communist. You know, after that Khmer Rouge video I made, if you haven't seen it, check it out, it's very good. After that, you know, it got me thinking about the time, how long, you know, I was a communist for most of my adult life, and the excuses I made for the literal and figurative rivers of blood that run behind the, you know, the vehicle of communism that has just driven through humanity absolutely mercilessly. And how many people are being sold on it today and are going there. I mean, I get it, communism, it appears to answer questions. It's very superficial, but it answers superficial questions easily. Gives you a real sense of purpose, and it gives you answers that otherwise don't exist, you know. Anyway, again, that's not what's made me angry, but it's related to all of that. You might remember the video I made about art and artists. I made a video where I was getting into art education, the amount of money they get to pay to be artists, to make little things and paint little things and put a fence post on their head and ride a BMX around a life-size map of a chessboard manufacturer's life. You know, all this kind of stuff. And my point was, you know, because it was weird, I got a lot of abuse for that video, not from YouTube, not from the audience, but from friends, sort of colleagues, people I went to school with, people I went to art school with. You know, I was at art school and then studying philosophy, cultural studies for 7-8 years in total, and they were like, I can't believe you've ended up like a fascist. I mean, I get called fascist, Nazist, sexist, racist, misogynist, all that lot, all day, every day. But they were like, I can't believe you've ended up a fascist, the way you're just disregarding art. You sound like Hitler during his speech of degenerate art. Read Hitler's speech of degenerate art. It doesn't sound like that. Actually, that speech he gives could be coming out the mouth of a social justice idiot. But anyway, they were saying that I was being fascistic because I was sort of saying art has no place in society. And I wasn't saying that. What I'm saying is, if you're going to take public money and put it in private pockets, namely yours, or if you're going to study, if you're going to expect money off the government and expect to be able to study art for years on end, you've got to be fucking brilliant. You've got to be completely rigorous. You've got to work and become an expert. You wouldn't let someone become an architect unless they'd studied it, unless they'd looked at the history of architecture, unless they'd made project after project as students where they understood space and context and how things work, and plumbing and electricity and bricklaying and all the different things, and fully understand it to the point where they're an expert. An artist has to have that level. that level of specialist knowledge that separates them from everyone, because they're an expert, they're a professional, they want public money, they want money for their work. It's got to be work, it's got to be the expression of expertise, of professionalism. And why? Because get that right, and your artwork has a social role and function. It has a reason to exist. Raison d'etre. There's no point just, it's so important that we have good artists, because if we don't, history will be a history of dominant images, of advertising, of marketing, of the market. It will be images dominated by the ruling aesthetic hegemony, whatever that is at the time. Artists can put their own stuff. They can make visual, and it's not just visual. I know there's audio art, but let's be honest, that's music and slightly different. But artists need to provide, and they need to be part of a history of aesthetics, which is beyond the market, has a function, is about the people. Not just an artist stuck up their own arse. You'll hear artists when they interview them and that, they'll be going, "Hi, so Huthwana, what is this piece of work?" And Huthwana will go, "Well, I'm interested in the angles of ballet." What? Hang on, what? You're interested? And you'll always hear that. It's one of two things. It's, I'm interested in the idea of shopping. The idea of shopping, and I'm interested in the relationship of shopping to the territory. I don't care what you're interested in. I'm interested in what I'm going to have for dinner, but I'm not going to ask for 100 grand off the fucking Arts Council to pay for what I'm fucking interested in. The other thing you'll hear artists say is, it's about. It's so vague. They'll be like, "Well, I made this piece of work." Another nonsense. "I made this piece of work. I mean, it's about. Oh, hang on. It's about. It's about time, and the way that decays through communication. Almost like, it's about the fossilization of word. Bang! You don't deserve it. No. Be expert. Be a professional. Have a role and function. Make art worthwhile. And if you don't, fuck off, jog on, be interested in about whatever you want, but not on the public purse." This was sent to me by a friend. Check it out. This is in a newspaper. This is about a piece of work in Govan. Govan is about 3 miles out of the centre of Glasgow. Do you know Glasgow? Glasgow is in Scotland. It's a very, very poor place. Most of Glasgow is. It was a city of culture 2000 and something. So there is your typical square mile in most cities around Europe, where there's some cafes and there's some artists talking about what they're interested in. It's about chess and the angles that the rook of life tends to skip upon when the queen lays down its kingly one-step pawn diagonal. I'm interested in those redynamics. I like to redynamize the movement of the chess. There's a little bit of cafes and art stuff, but most of it is tenement blocks, schemes. They call them schemes, the housing estates of high-rises where there's nothing, there's no future, there's no past, there's generation after generation of unemployment. The granddad maybe had a job, the father certainly didn't, the kids don't even know what work is, and the newborn babies, well, they can barely talk, so who knows what's going to happen to them. And these people turn up, these artists turn up, they take money out of the public purse, they stick it in their pockets, and they do an art shit on these people's lives. It means nothing to them, it means nothing to any of them, it's just an up yours, like I said, it's an art shit in their lives. Thanks for the money, I'm fucking off now, enjoy a shitty life. So let's have a look at this. Anger over art project cash as govern. Here, I've got this for you. This is Rab C. Nesbitt. This is a BBC TV show set in Govan. Yeah. You'll get an idea of what it's like there. And you might think that's bad, me using a comedy to show you what someone's like, but these are caricatures that make sense because you would see them there and no one would blink an eye. But look in the background. Fucking hell, I'm going to get a DMCA for having too much entry music. Alright, look at the background. That's not a theatre. That's not a set. They're not props. Look at the bench. It's missing something. Maybe they could have got some money off of the government. Oh, they spent it all on art. Check out this bloke.
Hey there! You joined me at a critical stage in my career, Colin. As you can see, I'm walking about here, clutching my carry-out bag, waiting to come.
Now, I know a lot of my subscribers are American, but I can't understand most of what he's saying either. That's not meant to be a joke. The joke isn't you can't understand him. That's just how they talk up there.
Concentrating no one in particular. Basics, you might say. In rock and roll terms, this is Rapsy's Unplugged Acoustic Tour. After the stadium.
So there you go, you get a little idea of Govern from Rapsy Nesbitt. Check it out online, check it out on YouTube. It's fucking brilliant. Worthwhile means something to people. Anyway. Anger over art project cash as Govern young team, that's just kids, set fire to urbanist rope sculpture. I mean, does it not already make you puke? Urbanist rope sculpture. I can imagine exactly what would happen if I went to Govern, walked up to anyone there, as long as they weren't in the art square mile, and said, how would you be interested in some urbanist rope sculptures? They just tell you to fuck off. If that, they just keep walking. They've got things to do, they've got lives to lead, they've got desperations. They haven't got time, they haven't got an engagement with bullshit. And there are our pair of cunts. That's our man on the right, Lee Ivitt. And there's a bloke he works with, and there they are being hilarious with a saw and some rope because they're artists. An architect behind projects in some of Scotland's poorest communities has been accused of wasting taxpayers' cash. I wonder why. He is described as an urbanist with a track record of developing transformational long-term projects. That's in quotes. He said it about himself. But if it was filmed telling a Dundee audience, I go places and attempt to make them a little less shit than they are, that's fair enough. I don't think that's too much of a problem. One of his projects, Riverside Solidarity, is shortlisted for a prestigious Architects Journal Award to be announced this week. Yeah, I'm sure. And that's part of that elitist world. It's part of where this stuff has ripples and has echoes. It's part of where it makes sense. That's where it functions. That's its role. It's not about the people. It's not about the community. It's not about Govern. It's about none of that. It's about the artist and the art world and the art market. And it's bullshit. The only thing it's actually got, the only relevance and engagement it has with the people of Govern, or whoever the people are, wherever this bullshit goes, wherever the diarrhea skids of artists have been left, the only link it has to those people is more often than not they funded it. It's public money going into private hands, whether it's through the lottery, which comes from poor people gambling, hoping for some money, or taxes. That's all. That's the link to the people. It's weird. Don't really see any artists dealing with that. I don't see artists criticising or highlighting or making memorials to that. No, I don't. I see urbanist stuff. I see Riverside Solidarity, which the children burn. There he is. Not sure whether he's a performer, a stand-up comedian, because kind of all of the above. I mean, this bloke Lee Ivitt, he started to make a few quid, started to get his name out there. You know, he's like a young Damien Hirst, so everyone's getting behind him. Means nothing. People don't want him. Last summer, Ivitt and artist Ben Perry created a structure made from old ropes from Govern's former shipyards. Govern used to be a place for where they built ships. Loads of ships are made in Govern. Not so much anymore, but that's all right, because the artists are coming to town. Don't worry about the lack of jobs, the lack of hope, the lack of future, the lack of a sustained interest in the place. We've got the artist coming and he's going to shit on us. But it's okay, because we're paying for it. If it said, now look at the language he's using. Imagine being on the end of this. If it said, our aim was to metaphorically and literally cut out the noise in Govern and seek a way of understanding the territory on our own terms. Okay? Okay. Interestingly, on our own terms, what you two So it's about you two, is it? Because I'm not sure. Because you didn't fucking pay for it. And I'll tell you now, 100%, these kids, the local kids that burnt this, these artists will spin that for their own good. They'll say, you know, I think it's interesting. You know, the work was never meant to be a monolith to meaning. And I know this because I've studied with these people. I was like this. And this is what they'll say. Words to the effect of, it was never meant to be a monolith to meaning. You know, this was never meant to be a stone etching of semiotics. This was meant to be a piece of work that transgressed a piece of work, that transgressed location and persona. And I think by the fact that the locals burnt it, you know, they set fire to it. If you think of Freud and fire, you know, and pissing on fires to put them out, but letting it burn, the rope burn, the shipyards, you know. I think this is really interesting, and we documented the burning. Here's some photographs of the ashes. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them in jam jars and probably sail them to France in a boat called Regret. Yeah, can you give me some money to do that, please? Because I'm an artiste. Disgusting. Ibit's road project lasted just 48 hours before it was set on fire by youths. Good. James Holloway of Govan Community Project said, it lasted 2 days and then the young team who hang about the dry dock torched it. There was a bit of spin put on it. There you go. That spin was what I just said. That will be the artist talking about, you know, in many ways it was a lure for destruction. You know, it was like a beacon of involvement. You know, what do you want to do with us? Do you want to welcome us? Do you want to reject us? And I think these youths have spoke. And now we've proven that art actually does have a function in that community. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm sure those kids are expressing themselves all over the place without spending hundreds of thousands of pounds. There was a bit of spin put on it, but it was really the youth saying how dare they come to their space. Often the only people empowered by these projects are the artists, really what a surprise, coming in and making a name for themselves and building a portfolio. Esme Clark, Secretary of Govan Community Council, said, we're very keen to look at the history of Govan, but I don't know if this was one of the best ideas or best use of public money. No, why weren't you saying this before the money got spent? Where was everyone making these decisions? How many people ticked this bullshit off? What did you think? Did you think the locals of Govan were going to hang around it and take selfies by a pile of ropes? Do you think the community was going to find a new sense of self, a new character, a new identity? Did you think it was going to become a thriving artistic community? Or did you not think? Were you fucking hypnotized by art? By what people are interested in? By the metaphorical noise? The Govan project, the one that got burned down by the local kids, was deemed so successful that Ivit travelled to Gdansk in Poland to do an art shit on them. He's wiping his ass out there at the moment, but that's alright because they're paying for it this time. He was backed by Creative Scotland, the University of West Scotland, and the project also received £50,000 from the dumb tax, the National Lottery. So Creative Scotland, public funded, the University of West Scotland, public funded, and the National Lottery, public funded. Thank you. Here's my arse, here's some money. Can you put your art penis up there, please? And metaphorically fucking stop the noise of me screaming. Ivit is prominent in Glasgow's Milton, another area Milton is, an area blighted by crime and poor health. Oh, well, that's what they need. They need some ill-considered, indulgent, pointless, role-less, functionless works of art, turds of art. This is amazing. His odd numbers idea in 2012 involved burying 365, relevant to the year, I like it, small ceramic animals. He buried on the public purse 365 small ceramic animals. The project was a collaboration involving Ivit and artist Nicola Atkinson and charity Love Milton. Charity. Where do they get their money from? Who pays the charity owners' wages? Who pays their salaries? Who pays this artist? The fucking poor public who need that money need other things, need things with relevance, things that engages them, things that have something to do with their life, not this kind of piss take. At least, so obviously the figures haven't been let out, but someone found out at least 23 fucking grand was secured from the Arts and Humanities Research Council. What art and humanity research has gone on here? The bloke buried 365 fucking ceramic deers. There they are. And listen to this. The objects were buried on waste ground in Skerry Street. So they're underground, they're gone, right? And this is in his words. To create a permanent place of memory and a future place of archaeology. Well, I'm sorry, Ivit, but all places of future archaeology and a permanent place of memory. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm making a video on YouTube here. That's a permanent place of memory. It's been recorded. And if you come back and look at this later, it's a future place of archaeology. Can you give me £23,000, please, you prick? Ivit has also identified the site for another project. A community centre or urban sanctuary. Wow. It's a community centre, not urban sanctuary. It's just renaming it like really angsty 16-year-old pop songs. Is that how you get money these days? Hey, look, there's a community centre over there. No, I actually call it stylistic retreat. Yeah. Oh, that's what it is, really. I mean, that's what it is to the kids. A community centre or urban sanctuary constructed from beer cans, 500 tyres, 12 shipping containers, 300 pallets and straw bales. Why? Why? The scheme secured National Lottery, public money, Glasgow City Council, public money, and Scottish Government public money funding. Love Milton received almost £500,000 from taxpayers, mostly via the Scottish Government and its climate challenge funds. Further grants of 2.2 million were also received, but the plan was mothballed when the council wanted 3,500 for the derelict land. Check this out. Ivit also created an outdoor eco classroom. Wow. At Milton Bank Primary School in the area. It was made from a shipping container and junk. Yeah, I bet it was. He didn't want to go spending the budget when he had cocaine and lager to pay for. Work began, listen to this, work began in 2011 and it took 4 years to complete. That's what he's been doing for 4 years, building a classroom. You know, the ones that fucking bricklayers can put together in about 3 days. Yeah, here it is. Right? That's his eco classroom. A fucking mess. And check this out. But due to safety concerns, Glasgow City ordered it to be demolished after it was used only once. Around 33,000 came from the Climate Challenge Fund to fund the project, to put school kids in that once and then be told to leave because it's unsafe. Well done, Ivit. It goes on and on and on, blah, 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 blah. Right, we can... Oh yeah, bearing in mind this is in Scotland. Art, Scotland, taxpayers' money, taking the piss. What does that remind me of? Yes, it wasn't long ago that the people of Scotland had to deal with this bullshit that was in the Scottish National Portrait Gallery, and a gallery that was not a museum of modern art, not a MoMA. No, this was a masterpiece gallery. This was portraiture from the 16 and 1700s, and this rapper was annoyed and responding to the fact that there was no black people there. Oh, I'm sorry, there wasn't many. These are aristocrats and leaders of industry. Was there not many black aristocrats in Scotland in 1650? But that's all right, the taxpayers can pay for it while you shit on their face.
While you are now framed in dust, the signs of wealth, the insignia of status, they are a gravestone that a dog pisses against shifting, corrupting clay. They are a long line of inbred spawn soon to die out themselves.
It means white people.
But I am here. My very existence, my closeness to your face, my breath, all offends thee.
No, what you're saying is just racist and rude and really ungrateful. We paid for it.
Or it would if you breathed yourself. But you can't. Your posterity is a cartoon. Evidence of a vain stupidity, whilst my own monument is the living.
Yeah, I'm sorry to tell this, mate, but they built the fucking country that has given you one of the best lives on the fucking planet, you ungrateful, racist shit. So, let's meet Leavitt and his artist mate, Neil Maguire. Right, this is the bloke that made the stupid house that cost a fortune and public money that went in private hands and got taken down after one day. This is the bloke and his silly mate who built a fucking load of ropes that the local kids set on fire, etc, etc. This is them talking about their piece of work that they're interested in. Test unit. Listen to this bullshit.
Okay, first slide. When I was given the notice to do this, I googled what a test unit was, and the first thing that comes up is a unit testing framework for Ruby.
I mean, this is the level. When I talked earlier about the rigour, the expertise, the professionalism, you know, equal to that of an architect, equal to that of a brain surgeon. You know, when I was given the line test unit, you know, I googled it and the first thing that came up was that, and I didn't know what it was. Are you doing this deliberately? Are you trying to piss people off? Are you trying to shit directly in the mouths of hungry people? Really?
I don't know who Ruby is, but luckily we have now made it to number 2 on the test unit.
Fuck you. The amount of money you got, if you'd done some research to find out about search engine optimization for about £2 you could have been number 1 in about 5 minutes. But no, fuck actually doing some research. You were too busy getting drunk or swanking around the members bars of Soho. Yeah, I've seen you all there talking about, well, you know, I'm interested in the shapes of circles when they're taken out. You know, it's almost like life and history as a slinky going down the stairs of existence. Wanker.
Rankings on Google, so that's quite an achievement.
Look, they're not sure whether they're comedians, they're not sure whether they're, you know, what are you doing?
So,
and who goes to watch this shit? And who pays for it? You and me.
The point of us talking tonight, just to recap on that, is just to let you know, if you're not part of a test unit group of people, what's going on there, to invite you down to...
You won't get any explanation, by the way. Don't expect to find out what this fucking test unit is.
The site as well, which is...
I mean, that would be asking far too much, a bit of clarity.
Here at Civic House. This is Civic House, this is a cargo container, and this is the studio that will...
There they are. Tarquin, Philippa, Elizabethan, Schlichnina, Chechun, and Tethinu all come to listen to l'artiste talk about test unit.
Working in Civic House.
It's a mind...
No one there. Absolutely no one else.
Just them here at Civic House.
I want you to listen to what Leavitt calls it. He calls it a fucking mind unit. Or something like a mind palace or something. There's no one there. Great mind palace.
This is Civic House, this is a cargo container, and this is the studio that we're all working in Civic House.
It's a mind palace thing, and it's the beating brain of test unit.
There you go. It sounds like something out of Viz. It's like a mind palace. It's the beating brain of test unit. No, it looks like a very expensive and rather lovely warehouse space that cost a fucking fortune. Of what? Public money. Where's that? Your pocket.
Even though there's only one person in it.
No one uses it. It's not very good. It's alright, you paid for it. I'm so drunk.
Who seems to not be able to find a pencil or something. But there's a lot of beautiful, beautiful thought happening within this lovely, well-lit space. There's some dangerous people, Neil.
So, yeah.
What the fuck? I mean, would you put up with a surgeon talking about their work at that level? Would you put up with any other expert talking about their work that has been paid for by you at that level? You just wouldn't. This isn't even as good as a fucking Monday morning primary school fucking show and tell. Look at this. We put on some work clothes. It's funny. People actually wear high-vis jackets and these hats all their lives. Look, this is a tool.
Yeah, this is me. and Kat has got the angle grinder. She's about to grind some angles.
I mean, I did a piece of work about it. I mean, it's funny because after using the tool for a couple of minutes, your hands vibrate. So what I'd done was I sellotaped charcoal to the ends of my fingers, and as they were vibrating, I put it on a bit of paper, and I made a piece, and it was called After Work Echoes. And it really made me think about people who work for 30 and 40 fucking years to pay for their poxy little concrete suburban rabbit hutch 13 floors up, not be able to send their kids to university, go without food most of the time, riddled with alcoholism and drug addiction, and then we turn up in their place with charcoal on our hands going, yeah, I know what it's like to work, I done 5 minutes of it the other day, got any more money? Arsehole.
And we've got 5 units working on test unit, all looking at slightly different themes.
I know I've been interrupting, but really, has anyone got any idea what test unit is yet? Tell me in the comments. There's a prize.
The theme that we're looking at is about facades, on looking at a site opposite Civic House.
Looking at, that's up there with It's About and I'm interested in.
This is James, and he's pointing at something. And James is the person who stops us using angle grinders in a naughty way.
Because we're like stupid kids. Have you got any money?
His role is to be very health and safety throughout the week, and make sure everyone looks after themselves and each other and doesn't get hurt. Oh, this is some soup.
Yes, this is some...
What is this stupid fucking stooge thing? Like the straight man. They've got straight man. Is it a comedy act? Is it like Vic and Bob?
So we have Hannah and her team making a fantastic lunch and dinner for us every day.
I mean, what are you talking about? Is this test unit that you eat? You eat, do you? Is that what you're interested in? Is it one of the themes you're looking at? What has this got? Why are people there? What are they watching?
So we're well fed. Though our team did sneak in some extra biscuits today.
My God, does it get any more bourgeois? You fucking put the petit in bourgeois, didn't you?
And I saw some other teams looking at the biscuits.
It's not a joke. This is these people. This is where public money goes. Hundreds of thousands of pounds.
It's all vegetarian, so I've been bringing my own meat. This isn't actually my own meat that I've been bringing.
Oh, it was a joke. Hilarious. What are you? Is this a set? What is this?
This is a slide from one of the groups who are looking at alternative economies.
Looking at, interested in, It's About, themes we're investigating.
And potentially basing that around maggots.
Oh, the old straight man again. Come back, save it. The dynamic's great. When you see them up there together, you know, what a personality he's got, this Ivet. I mean, he's a young, brash artist. You know, in the 90s it was Damien Hirst, Alec James from Blur, and nowadays it's Ivet and his bottle of beer. He don't care. He talks about maggots and being naughty with an angle grinder.
So, this group is called the Institute for Spontaneous Generation.
Wow.
This is not about them. So this is we've been working on a site.
Absolute rank amateurs. These are professional artists. These are the experts of art. This is where money's going. These are up for prestigious awards. These are the bright young things of art. These are the people I was talking about who are gonna have an aesthetic against the dominant hegemony. Thanks, boys.
That is called the Phoenix Nursery. It's opposite Civic House. And these
you said that something else is opposite Civic House. Has anyone got any clue what test unit is yet?
Some of the things that we found in our sort of...
objet trouvé. Yeah, there's some things that they found. Are you taking the piss? Are you trying to upset people? People break their fucking backs working and they pay taxes, and this is what you cunts do with that money. Are you having a laugh? You disgusting people. This is disgraceful.
Clandestine archaeological dig. There was also a 1988 iron brew can that we found as well.
This is a Dutch person on the right. He is a Dutch artist from Rotterdam who came as a guest critic last night and gave firm but fair advice to all the groups. It was good.
It was good.
I found him to be quite didactic and didn't
Oh, really?
like him. Lee really liked him. This is our group. We're working on facades, and we're looking at this site. It's essentially a kind of a big field of mud, and we're looking at creating a new route through this site.
Yeah, okay. It's a field of mud, and they're going to create a new route through it because they're looking at facades. Imagine it's what the people of the area want and are happy where their money's going.
Here we are, kind of marking it out.
This is a pointy thing that my group made. Our group's called Urban Bossy. And
Urban Bossy, and there's a pointy thing that he made.
This is going to be a pointy entrance to the Urban Bossy.
Urban Bothy.
Connects Neil's site with this bit of land that sits directly opposite Civic House.
You know, it's like when you get some kids together and you give them some blocks and some hammers and nails and some bits and bobs and they play. And play is one of the most magnificent things humans can do because it's how we learn. You know, play is like the poetry of work. It's the activity that threatens to break the limits of our enclosure, the enclosure being what we already know. You know, we put things together, we change things, we alter them, and we find new ideas. You know, contradictions are resolved, and we transgress what we know through play and experimentation. And artists who aren't experts, who aren't professionals, who haven't got specialist knowledge, who are not rigorous, who have not learned, and who have no role and function, socially, politically, anything. All they do is put public money into their private pockets. What they do is play like children, but without the transgression, without the innocence. They've bullshitted it up trying to defend it, and so it's not even what it could be. It's not even as good as children playing. And children don't ask for all that money. And the children, they don't dump what they've made onto the lives of poor people. They don't scrape their shit up at the end of the day and slap it down in the middle of the homes of these people. No, they leave it, they destroy it, it's not wanted because it's about the play, not the object. Whereas these cunts, it's all about the object. Why? Because that's how they claim their money. They take some photos of it. The photos go on a wall in a gallery and ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
So it's been really sunny, and here we are on our laptops designing some materials for the facade of the site.
Can you believe these people have obviously at some point studied? They must have studied. 3 years degree, 4 years degree and a foundation, 4, 5, 6, 7 years a degree, a foundation, a degree and a master's degree, maybe a PhD. Maybe they're at 9 years, a foundation, a degree, a master's degree and a PhD. Maybe, a lot of them have 10 years of public money, paying for the university, paying for all the equipment, paying to house them. Oh, they got their student loans, but that doesn't even touch, because then they get all the stuff they apply for, the stuff to you know, I can't think what it's called. They get all the extra money in, public money, wherever it comes from. And then when they finally come out as artists, they go onto these fucking things and they stand up the front and they go, this is us on our laptops, it's sunny, glug, glug, glug. Yeah, it's sunny, this is a pointy thing. Here's some bottles we found. One of them was even an eye. Are you fucking joking?
So, yeah, we have a site, Lee's Urban Brothel.
Right, and this is why I want you to see this. Lee's Urban Brothel. Watch him here. Oh, he's a bit wacky and a bit naughty. Watch the geezer on the left, how he mentions and then responds to his urban brothel.
To the back of that site, next to Civic House. As I said, on Friday, Saturday, come down and see us. And
everyone's got to make a living, right? So,
cock. Watch him again. Watch geezer on the left.
Is to the back of that site, next to Civic House. As I said, on Friday, Saturday, come down and see us. And
everyone's got to make a living, right? So,
shocking. Absolutely shocking. Is that your professional artist's opinion on people who sell their body for money?
That's just, you know, that's the way it goes. This is some blue stuff getting cut.
There you go. This is some blue stuff getting cut. Please, please. If you're going to be an artist, you have to be fucking good. You have to make people need you. They have to want you. You have to be relevant. You need them to be demanding more. And if you are not even coming close to any of them, fuck off. Jog on. You're not wanted. Go somewhere else.